Rastafari love it, so yes. Rastafari leave it for sure. Rastafari forever.
I'm fucking tripping, y'all. I totally forgot I was goddamn streaming, man. I've been chilling here for the past 5 minutes looking at fucking Twitter. Sorry. Shit. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. I was just looking. I looked up at my desk and so shit, I'm live. Oh, fuck. I was just... Let me cut this music down where y'all can hear me a little better. Fuck. Here, let me get back and catch up on comments. Yeah, I was just over here fucking looking at Twitter, man. We gonna roll a blunt, man. Or actually, I got a bong load ready to go right here, so we'll hit this first. I did hit a dab earlier. We're not reviewing anything, so I was like, fuck, I hit a dab when I got up. Who's that Blue Magic? We'll roll some of that Blue Magic in this. This one of Brothers Broadleaf Grape Blunts. Here, I'll get the jar out. These the Vineyard series. Here, let me focus. This was a fucking $100 jar of cigars. Came with 8 in it. I think I should have a dud in here that I've trimmed down. I don't know. I like to stick the duds in there to let them soak up because they're kind of moist. Let them soak up a little bit of that. Here, let me focus. That wine barrel flavor. Here, I bet this one's drying out. I got caught up looking at comments and shit. I was looking at fucking these fucking crazy motherfuckers in the business always complaining about how they can't make any money in weed. It's like, well, maybe if y'all didn't lobby so hard for some fucked up laws where nobody can make no money, maybe you'd make some. Oh. Thank you. I gotta rinse a tip off for this blunt. Man, I'm sore as shit. My fucking neck, yo. I couldn't lay on my side. It hurts so bad. My neck's so goddamn stiff. And my fucking traps back here feel like it's torn. It feels so swole up from toting, carrying shit and training yesterday. No, it's not recreational. No, sir. We're just a medical state. Very restricted medical. Not as bad as Alabama and Georgia, but still restricted. Like $20 million to get a license to go into business. 3rd-degree felony for home grow. So it's still pretty restrictive and dangerous. And you can still be like arrested easily, like if you got your weed out of the package or anything like that. Gelato 410. I wish it were rec here, or just home grow, man. Home grow is essential for medical patients, man, because the you know, as you all well know, money makes everything go round and work. So it's increasingly difficult for medical patients to access the actual flour that they need, because that's not what the market's always growing. The market is sometimes just growing, you know, whatever sells the best. And, you know, it's kind of crazy that here in a medical state, they don't have any fucking you know, like in medical dispensaries, they should have type 2 and type 3 flour, and probably type 4. There should be other alternative cannabinoid type of flour, you know, type 2, which is, you know, balanced THC and CBD, and then they should have CBD flour as well, because if you're, you know, we're truly trying to treat patients, we need to offer them the shit that they need, not just the highest fucking potency THC. And, you know, that's what we like, that's what I love, but that's also, you know, that's a whole nother discussion. We've got a whole medical market of people that need to be taken care of. And when you go into a fucking dispensary and the bud tender looks at you like you lost your mind when you ask if they stock any type 2 flour, you know, there's a problem. So yeah, it's essential that people are able to grow their own, because there's some people who might want and need type 2 flour, or maybe just you know, maybe you want some original haze that they don't have on the fucking menu there, that they're not going to have on the menu, you know. Woo! This cigar opened up. I gotta get in the light to see where this little cap starts. Let me go rinse this tip so that it's ready to go as soon as I get it rolled. Just going to use a little vortex tip. 1 second, people. I'll be right back. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Well, I've not done any home grow, man. I've not been privileged to do that. You know, I've had a lot of other shit in my life going on that is, you know, besides it being extremely illegal, I had other shit that I was doing that, like selling weed or whatever that kept me from growing. Well, I think it doesn't matter, home grow, market weed, whatever. It just depends who grew it, right? Because it's all about who's taking care of it. More than anything, I believe. Cut a little of this extra spice off, you know. And it depends what market you're in, who you're buying, you know, like who you're buying from in that market, right? There's a lot of factors that go into it. But I think home grow definitely has the potential to be better, for sure, right? Yeah, dude, I'd like to make some hash too. That would be fun. You need a really cold room to wash in. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, you need a really cold room to wash hash. A lot of people do it outside in the wintertime, you know. A lot of people will do their hash washing in walk-in. They'll have like walk-in coolers where they have their hash labs. I've noticed that people grow in walk-in coolers and people freaking, like, I've seen that a lot. I've seen a lot of huge, gigantic walk-in coolers, especially in LA, that are used for grows. I think if you can get, I don't know what the temperature needs to be, but I'm sure you can get like a room in your house cold enough. A little bit of gargle to finish it right here on the tip. Make sure that end sticks nice. There you go, though. Here, let's focus. Let's focus. That boy rolled the fuck out that boy. Look at that. Got the vortex tip. Spiral that hoe wrapped all around like a real cigar do. Banana. And it definitely tastes like some wine. Make sure I got this. Tip tight. I want no air leak on my tip. Now we will. All right. I'm gonna let that chill for a moment. Oh, I could have put a little. I had a little cap I could have put on there. Morning, Shane. Yeah, Baltimore is wild, dude. I used to watch this show, The Wire, back in the day. Man, Baltimore is wild. And then I used to watch some of that stuff on YouTube, like the bike life shit, the Be More fucking wheelie cruise and shit. Like that shit was wild back. That's been years now, right? Since that shit, I'm sure they still do it, but it was like, back in the Rough Rider days and shit when shit was big. Man, hey, they fucking getting their ass in Florida with them team takeovers. Motherfuckers took over Crab Island and Destin and beat the shit out of a bunch of damn tourists. Apparently, it's a lot of people coming from Montgomery and Mobile coming over to Florida for these beach takeovers and shit. We own this city. I definitely had to check it out, man. I like very interesting. I find the whole street culture and the street crime scene in Baltimore. Because I'm from the South and it's totally different. And Baltimore is kind of like, seems like it's its own thing. Didn't they had like a fucking unusually high unsolved murder rate in Baltimore or something? Like a just unusually high murder rate, something like, I can't remember what it. Yeah, The Wire it was cool as shit, dude. I ain't seen that shit in years, but what'd you get, Stretch? What'd you get at the Flowery? Good morning, Bruce. Yeah, what'd you get over at the Flowery? Let's get this thing fired up. Blue Magic in the vineyard wrap. Oh, y'all see what they're doing in LA right now? The DEA and all that? Dude, motherfucking LA, the DEA is cracking down on fucking drug addicts in MacArthur Park. MacArthur Park is like an open air drug market. Fucking, so they're getting ready to do a Labor Day fucking picnic, and the DEA is like inviting everybody to come out, bring your family to see MacArthur Park. We're cleaning this place up. And they're just out there busting everybody. And they come out and said they're starting with all the dope heads and shit in the park, which I get that. But at the same time, they're getting rid of the demand. But they've allowed that demand to build up, and now they're victimizing the fucking addicts. It's kind of fucked. I mean, something definitely has to be done. But the whole reason the shit's happening is they're getting ready to have fucking like some Olympics or some shit in LA. Yeah, that's the whole reason they're doing that bullshit is because of the Olympics. And that's what upsets me. It's like, why couldn't you help these people and take care of this fucking community when it was just them? It's like, man, it's like you only clean your house when people come over. You don't do your dishes regularly. You don't clean your bathroom for yourself. You know what I mean? You only do this shit when somebody coming to see. You know. So I don't know. It's kind of fucked that they, now's the time they're just going to try to. They've been letting that shit stack up and build up there. People are super desensitized to everything, man. It's crazy. Like the amount of fucking insane violence that we see every day or take in, you can't even keep up with it. When people did crazy shit in the past, they went down in history. You remembered their names. Fuck, man. People do the most crazy things now, and it's just another day in the life. It's just another day. You don't even remember their name tomorrow. So Zan Greasel. I like the Shiloh is one of my favorite. Well, let us know what you think about dude. Hey, Stretch, you need to get some of that Gabby Sourdy over at Sunburn. That shit is fire. Some of the hottest shit on the fucking Florida market right now. Promise. I was just fucking talking to him, man. Authentic music, man. Great minds think alike, man. I'm telling you, you must have just snatched that out of my brain. Because I was just thinking about the Gabby Sour Diesel specifically. You can get clones from Staten Island Gabby for like $250. They're growing it over at the Flowery. And it's fire. It's probably the best sour diesel I've had in over a decade. And it's some of the best smoke on the Florida market right now. So if you are a Florida med patient, hit up Sunburn for some of that Gabby Sourdy. I promise. It's on sale this weekend right now for $24 an eighth. So grab your eighth, man. Go grab your eighth, bro. Sour disease. No, I've not heard of them. I've not heard of them, Bruce. If you try them out, let us know how it works out. Are you? You're not in. Let me see. You're not in freaking Florida, are you? Or a medical patient? Really? Fuck yeah! I knew that. You know what? Green Dragon opened up and fucking sold some cuts. Like they were advertising on Twitter. They opened up and sold cuts. And they even had a doctor on staff. You could buy 100 plants if you wanted. Which to me, I'm like, why would you buy 100 clones? You buy one clone and go take cuts. So yeah, dude, that's cool. I don't know what they're charging, but Green Dragon opened up to the public selling clones of the toad venom. I can't wait to see what the flower does with it. Shit. I would like a eighth of the if you know toad, because theirs is supposed to be the best. This company, they got the fucking frog eating the frog on the lid, but it's 75 an eighth too. So, but they're expensive as fuck. They're the same company that does the elephant growth, and that shit is super duper expensive. But I'm telling you, man, like the lemon up, that's fire, man. That's surefire genetics. That's if you know, you know. But I still liked Up the Hill like better, dude. I liked it way better.
I believe in every living thing on creation. I believe in the sun, the moon, and stars. I believe
It's
in the
pretty nice pairing, this Blue Magic with this grape wine blunt, man. Pretty nice pairing.
what they say a reality.
I
Yeah,
would like to get, speaking of sour diesel,
I
when you look at and Wizard Trees, right, and this Blue Magic, one of the parents in this Blue Magic is the New Yorker, and the New Yorker, one of the parents on it is it's called Riri Sour Diesel. I don't think I've ever had it anywhere that I know of. RIRI Riri Sour Diesel.
do what they say. I do what they say.
Damn, I didn't know overgrow.com was still online. That's crazy. I haven't seen Overgrow in a million years. Holy shit, it's still a forum. That's crazy. People are still, we still think about it. People are still posting threads on Overgrow. That's nice. I haven't been on overgrow.com in a long time, dude. Anyways, we're looking to see if we can find that cut for Riri dog. I don't see it. Fuck it. Hell yeah. That's what's up. Man, a lot of people have been successful with, cannabis and support from friends and family to leave that opiate addiction behind. Well, I ain't got nothing new today. I got a fucking neck and back pain. Fucking, I'm sore as shit. And I don't have any new smoke at all. I do have something coming in the mail from Oregon. I don't know what it is, though. So, we shall see what I get today. Kiki Riki. Okay. So that's a total different Bubba Kush and Kiki Riki. What the fuck? Oh, Masonic takes it. Has he put them in the mail yet? I'm still waiting on him to mail mine. He takes a minute. But I'm not trying to grow them tomorrow, so I'll be okay. He'll get them to me. Today's Saturday, so shit, dog. How's the fucking skunk in the north? It can't even be 7 days since you planted them. How's the skunk in the Northern Lights seeds? Did you plant a haze seed? Did you get a purple haze seed? You should have. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Okay. Well, that's all you requested. Hell, I would have given you some more if. How are they looking though? Are they okay? Yeah. Tonight we'll get a look ski. I'm pretty sure it was skunk. I'm pretty sure it was skunk number one because it was fucking. That was the first one I opened, and it was such a pain in the ass to get it open. You'll know as soon as that motherfucker starts flowering. Yeah, I mean you'll know off the leaves too if it's skunk, right? Does it look like it's doing better than Northern Lights or what? Or you just like it better? You grew 8 different strains in a 2x2?
Now today we are at peace. Yesterday we were enemies. Now today we are friends. 'Cause there is peace in the city.
You didn't mix them up, did you? They look identical at this stage, is what you're saying. Gotcha.
I see brothers greeting brothers. I see sisters greeting.
They were looking pretty healthy the other day, the little seedling shots you shared with us.
Coming together again
I bet by the time of month they're going to be fucking looking healthy.
in the city. Said there is peace in the city.
It's in a nice Nash blunt. This was a way to smoke this too. Hell yeah. And the fucking barrel wrap, the vineyard wrap.
Time for us to unite. 'Cause there is peace in the city.
I'm so goddamn sore, y'all. Holy shit.
In the city. Yeah. I see brothers greeting
Where we at? Here we
I see
go.
sisters greeting sisters, and all those
Oh, fuck, man.
friends coming
I can barely turn my head. It hurts so bad. Like my neck, when I turn like this, or like this a little bit.
said there is peace in the city. We don't want no more wars. We don't want no fuss and fight. It is time to come together. It is time for us.
Dude, we just did we just did some deadlifting. Then we did the farmer handles. We, just did a few passes, adding weight to the farmer handles. Yeah, we're training strongman shit. Like, and then we did the yoke, the thing you carry on your back. Oh my God, dude. Fucking dead. Holy shit. I don't have any goddamn video. Let me see if I can. Holy shit. This thing actually knows what a yoke is. Woo, back when I had some meat on me, I was fucking strong. That boy toting 500 pounds fast. That's back in Memphis. I had some meat on me there. Look at them fucking fast feet, boy. Here we go. Here's some real weird shit I've been doing. Fucking doing weighted pull-ups. I've got 35 pounds of weight on my fucking, watch, it'll play again. This is in my backyard in Tennessee. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So I think that's 15 pounds on my head and another 35 on my waist. I need the damn video here though. Let's see. Man, the picture search getting good. Yeah, holy shit. Here we go. Fucking 270-pound sandbag right there. That's a hot day. You see, I'm soaking ass wet. It's a 300-pound bag. It's a little short. But that wasn't here. That's the type of shit we'd be doing though. Here we go. Here's a fun one. 200. No, that's 250. Sorry. I need to find. Here, let me find where we did yesterday if I can. Oh, I can't because I didn't get video. I have to get the Joy captured this on the security camera. I get Mike got some video. I was supposed to shoot video, but I just got caught up training and shit. No, dude, it's just sore as fuck from toting that weight, right? So when you fucking carry weight in your arm, it stresses your neck. Here, look, I'm gonna show you real quick. Like all this back here, this shit right here, like all that shit gets under tension when you're running with. So we're carrying handles that are fucking loaded, and this is what's fucking hurting like hell. And then when we're doing a yoke, we're putting the fucking weight on there too. So like the whole fucking posterior chain, like from your neck all the way down to the from your neck all the way to the bottom of your fucking hamstring behind your knee is fucking hurting. Right? I couldn't sleep on it at all, man. I wish I could have slept on it because I like to sleep on my side. I sleep on this wedge pillow, and then I got a really thin pillow that I'll put between my arm and my head. I like to sleep on my side. I had to lay on my back. Anytime I rolled over on my side, I woke right up because I could feel it all through this fucking trap muscle back here, and then like the neck, my neck itself is hurting so bad because everything's just so tight. I hadn't been training, and then fucking Mike come over and kick my ass. You know what? I bet I can pull a. Man, I used to be pretty overweight when I was in my 20s and stuff, and I was lazy, and I got into exercise in my later 20s. It just really got into it later after that. And then, of course, I got into my diet later on after I was really into exercise. Hold up. Okay, no shit. So like, why can't I find the pictures nearby? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Just hit the nearby photos. Because I want to show you what the farmers look like. And they got a bunch of pictures of me just picking them up with fucking loaded up with stupid weight. Where's some movement? Them motherfuckers will tear your hands too, them damn farmers. Is that it? Yeah, there it goes. That's it. Actually, I'm just holding those again too. It's like a bunch of weight, but you see how my neck's fucking tensing up and shit? You gotta see me move with them because it's even worse when you're moving. God dang it. Ba-da-da. Oh yeah, here we go. We got a little medley right here. This is what we call a medley. First, we start with a sandbag, right? Run that 50 feet, and you see that boy sprint back to the handles now. And that's my homie Mike right there. That's the handles, got those weighted pretty nicely. That shit puts everything under stress. That's why I'm hurting the most is from toting those handles. And this is a duck walk pin. You see, I removed my belt and threw my belt so I could breathe and move better. So that's the type of shit we're doing. And Mike right there, he's probably, let's see, he's gonna be 63 in a couple days. So right there, he is 59. You can see his ass he's still fucking shredded to the bone. What up, Brandon? What's happening, brother? Oh, where am I? Dude, I didn't get into exercise until I was like 36, like really training. Was it at Kelsey here? What do you mean at Air Force Base? No, that was in Memphis where we were training. We trained at my house here. Yes, yesterday we trained at my house. I got a full strongman gym here. I got kegs, sandbags, fucking sandstone, logs, axle, yoke, farmer handles, everything. I could fucking host a damn event. Are you out here on the island? Where are you at, Brandon? Are you out here on the island? Where in Mississippi fridge rent? Are you talking about the when I was talking about the other day when I was working on that cooler in Mississippi? I think it was like MacArthur or some shit. I can't remember the fucking name of the place. I know I had a buddy who was an MP who would go out there and train. He would run training exercises. He's like a career guy I trained with doing strongman. He's a 20-year MP. I think it's MacArthur. Let me look. It's near. Fuck. I've got mental blocks on Mississippi because I don't care for it. I'm sorry if you're from there, but I just. Or McAllen. Bro, I don't even know. Fuck, it ain't MacArthur. I can't remember. It wasn't a like an Air Force. It was an Army base. It was like a training base. They had like training, like like barracks and stuff, and like obstacle courses and shit. It's out in the middle of nowhere in Mississippi. It was a big, like just a big training base, and it wasn't like a boot camp. It's like where they sent special units to go do field training, or MPs that were doing training and stuff like that. So that's why my buddy was there, is he was an MP, like a long time MP. So he would get sent over there to do run training. He'd be bragging about how it might be McAllen, MacArthur. I can't even remember where the fuck Mississippi it is. It's near some shitty damn fucking. Oh, it's a bunch of goddamn redneck shit down there. I really don't fuck with Mississippi like that, man. I mean, I don't know. I've had such a fucking bad time in the country with people because I'm not a fucking redneck from the country, and they recognize this right away, and they don't like it. So I've almost always have fucking problems with motherfuckers. Not problems, they just don't fucking, rednecks aren't too accepting of me. especially the Mississippi flavor. Mm-mm-mm. Is it McAllen? Let's see. Is it McAllen? I'm texting Alan. God dang. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to fucking ask. I'm like, I gotta know. I text my old supervisor there and said, fucking, oh, y'all are Circle K or what? Are y'all hanging out over there at freaking Casino Beach? Y'all should come down to the to the quieter part. Joy's still asleep down here. Did y'all stay the night out on the island or what? It's early. It got busy yesterday afternoon up there. Let me check something real quick. My homie Mike changed. Gosh, my neck. Y'all give me 1 second. I will be right back. Yo, I'm tripping too, man. Like yesterday, after we got through training, we went over. Okay. What's going on at Casino Beach? I wonder. Let me look it up. There's always some shit going on over there. I heard that. Be careful out there smoking shit. They got me scared to smoke. Oh, it's a sea turtle baby shower. Oh, I'm gonna have to go up there and check that out. It's a sea turtle baby shower. You get to learn about sea turtles and shit. It's till noon. Yeah, 9 a.m. till noon, the sea turtle baby shower. I had to dip off and ride my bike up there and check that out before it gets too late. You know, it was still early. We got plenty of time. We're going to fucking smoke. Oh, we about to watch a little documentary. It's called Cowboy. It's Cannabis Cowboy, the dark history of weed in the Old West. Check it out, yo. This is on Dean and Kazoon's and Dark. Yeah, some fucking some channel. It's I don't know. It's not my channel, but we're gonna watch this shit. Right? I know everybody wants to see it. Let's do this. We're gonna turn up the desktop sound where y'all can hear it good. And now, yeah. We'll hit some dabs and shit. It's about a 32-minute run, this little video. Yeah, it'll get busy quick for sure. I'm gonna ride my bike up there and check it out. I will go. I'll go after it gets busy because I can dip in and out on the bike. What'd you see yesterday, Nick? You seen this documentary? Well, hey, we're in the same algorithm there. Okay, cool, man. Well, awesome. Check it out. Drugstore. They got that leaf on that thing. We're going to get into this thing. It's a little documentary about cowboys and weed. I haven't watched it at all. I'll pause it every now and then. We'll have commentary and shit because it's kind of required when we watch videos on YouTube so that we're not just totally stealing their content. We're supposed to give commentary and add to it and have discussion about it. So that's what we'll do. I will start the movie and get my dabs prepared.
The old man on the cot was breathing hard. He was 82 years old. He had been a cowboy on the trails between San Antonio and Dodge City between Mill 1868 and Mill 1884.
I don't know if Joy will come down. But DM me your phone number. Oh shit! Do you got my personal Facebook? DM me your phone number. That way I can DM you on there either way, and that way I can contact you, Brandon.
Sitting beside the cot, taking notes. The old man's name was Ruben Antonio Salazar. His father had been a Mexican vaquero who had come north into Texas before the war with Mexico in Mill 1846. His mother had been an Anglo woman from a small farm.
That's a cowboy, a vaquero.
He spoke both languages fluently and had spent his entire adult life moving between the two cultures that met on the Texas brush country. He had pushed cattle on the Chisholm Trail 7 times. He had ridden for the King Ranch in Mill 1873. He had been in Dodge City the summer Wyatt Earp was a deputy marshal. He had buried 2 brothers, 1 wife, and 3 children, and he had stories. The young reporter wanted one specific story. He had heard from other old cowboys in the brush country that Ruben Salazar knew about something the newspapers were calling the Mexican weed, the plant.
Such a cool fucking picture.
Lurid editorials across the country that was being blamed for crimes against white women, that was being described by federal officials in Washington as the most dangerous narcotic ever to cross the southern border. The reporter wanted to know what an old cowboy thought of all that, whether he had seen the plant on the trails, whether the stories were true. Ruben Salazar coughed for a long time before he answered. When he could speak again, what he said was this. The young reporter wrote it down word for word. They are telling you, mister, that this thing is new, that it came up across the river last week and that it is going to destroy America. I am telling you that this thing is older than your grandfather and mine. I rode for 30 years on this border. Woo! I saw it growing wild on the riverbanks. I saw Mexican boys smoking it in their cigarillos at the cook fire before sleep.
In their cigarillos, son.
Try it once and not try it again because tobacco was strong.
Wait a second. Even way back then, he saw some of the homies smoking it in cigarillos by the fire. Man, some things never change.
Longer and cheaper. I saw it in the saddlebags of soldiers who came back from the Mexican War in Mill 1847. It was already old then. The new thing is not the plant. The new thing is the line. The old man died 3 weeks later. The reporter's notes were filed in the morgue of the Brownsville Daily Herald and forgotten until a researcher named Isaac Campos uncovered them in the early 2000s while writing a book about the real history of cannabis in the borderlands. What Ruben Salazar said to that reporter in Mill 1926 is the story I want to tell you tonight. Not the story the federal government would soon tell. Not the story Harry Anslinger would tell to Congress in Mill 1937 to get a law passed that is still on the books. The other story. The story of a plant that George Washington grew at Mount Vernon, that American pharmacies sold legally over the counter for 80 years, that traveled north across the Rio Grande in the saddlebags of Mexican vaqueros and the medicine bags of frontier doctors. That was nothing like what your great-grandparents were eventually told it was, and that became, in the space of about 20 years, one of the most carefully constructed lies in American history. Before we go any further, take a second and tell me in the comments where you are watching from tonight. The town, the state, the country, whatever you are comfortable saying. I read every single one of them. It matters to me to know who is sitting up late on the other end of this, listening to a story most Americans were never.
Y'all be sure to go and comment this video. I'll drop a link momentarily, before it's over. Somebody remind me, but be sure to comment the video for the just for the people who made it, because it's important history that they're sharing with us, man. We and researching and studying cannabis isn't like something that pays because a lot, because it's well, now they're fucking making a corporate thing, but it's never been something that was like an endeavor that was going to make you money. It was more of a fucking thing of passion for people to find the truth,
We're told straight. If you are new here, hit subscribe. We are building something quiet and steady on this channel, one story at a time. We tell the stories the textbooks skipped, the ones the History Channel stopped telling, real history, with real names. If that is the kind of company you keep, you're in the right place. Now, to understand what was actually happening on the borderlands and the cattle trails between Mill 1840 and Mill 1930, you have to start with a fact that is going to surprise most Americans listening tonight. The plant we now call marijuana was, for the first 150 years of American history, one of the most widely cultivated and respected commercial
we already knew
crops
that.
in the
Jack
country.
Hare
The Spanish
told us
brought
that.
cannabis to the Americas in the 1500s, primarily for fiber. The hemp plant, which is the same species as marijuana, but bred for stem length and low resin content, was the basic material from which the European world made rope, sail canvas, sacks, work clothing,
The most
and high-quality
important plant
paper.
on
Without
the
hemp,
planet.
the wooden sailing ships that crossed the Atlantic in the 1600s
never
could
got
not have
here.
existed. The lines, the sails, the caulking, and most of the working uniforms of the sailors who crossed the ocean were made of cannabis fiber. When
He
the first
plucked that
English settlers
straight
arrived
from
at
the Emperor
Jamestown,
Wears No
Virginia,
Clothes.
in Mill 607, hemp was already growing wild in the local soil from earlier Spanish plantings further south. In Mill 619, the Virginia Company in London sent a formal order to the Jamestown colony requiring every landowning settler to plant at least 100 hemp plants. The order was a strategic decision.
He's
England's
almost
Navy required
reading
vast
from The
quantities of
Emperor
rope,
Wears No
sail,
Clothes
and
here.
canvas, and the colony was an opportunity to source it domestically rather than buying it from the Russians or the Dutch. The Jamestown settlers planted. By Mill 630, hemp was being shipped back to England in commercial quantities. For the next century and a half, hemp was a major American crop. Pennsylvania farmers planted it. Virginia farmers planted it. Kentucky, when it began to be settled in Mill 1775, became one of the largest hemp-producing regions in the world. In some Kentucky counties in the early 1800s, more than half of all cultivated land was planted in hemp. George Washington grew hemp at Mount Vernon. This is documented in his own farm journals, which are preserved at the Mount Vernon Library. He wrote
They'd
about
lock
it in
your
entries
ass
from
up when
Mill
it was a hemp shortage
1765
if you didn't grow
through
it.
Mill 1794. His diaries record him separating the male and female plants at certain points in the growing season, which is a technique used to maximize fiber production, but also, depending on what the grower intends, to maximize the psychoactive resin in the female flowers. Whether Washington was simply optimizing fiber yields or whether he had some interest in the resin properties has been argued by scholars for decades. The honest answer is that we do not know what was in his head when he separated the plants. We only know that he did it. Thomas Jefferson also grew hemp at Monticello. James Madison grew it, so did Benjamin Franklin, who used hemp fiber to make some of the first paper produced in colonial America. Throughout the early 1800s, hemp remained an important commercial crop, but something else began to happen alongside the fiber industry. Cannabis, the same species, started to appear in American pharmacies. The man responsible for this was William Brooke O'Shaughnessy, an Irish-born physician who served in India with the British East India Company in the 1830s. O'Shaughnessy had observed Indian and Persian doctors
Well, that
using cannabis
dab was
preparations
for your
a
buddy
wide range
Joe
of conditions, including muscle spasms,
Toonston
pain relief, sleep
and
disorders,
his happy
and the convulsions
birthday.
of tetanus. He conducted careful clinical experiments. He published his
That
findings in
dab was for Joe there.
1839 in a paper called "On the Preparations of the Indian
Happy
Hemp,
birthday to Joe.
Gunja." The paper traveled quickly through the Western medical world. By mill 1845, cannabis tinctures were being prescribed in London. By mill 1850, they were available in American pharmacies in every major city, and in many small frontier towns as well. The cannabis tinctures of the 1850s through the early 1900s were nothing like the marijuana cigarettes that would later become the legal target of federal prohibition. They were alcohol-based extracts of the cannabis flower, dispensed in small glass bottles with droppers, similar in form to other tinctures of the period. A frontier doctor in Wyoming Territory in mill 1875 would have had a bottle of cannabis tincture on his shelf alongside laudanum, paregoric, calomel, and quinine. The cannabis tincture would be prescribed for migraine, for menstrual cramps, for the muscle spasms of tetanus, for asthma, and as a sleep aid. The dosage was measured in drops. The cost was a few cents. There was no stigma attached to it. It was medicine. The pharmacy catalogs from this period, which still survive in libraries across the country, document the trade in detail. Park Davis of Detroit, Eli Lilly of Indianapolis, Squibb of New York, and Pfizer of New York all manufactured and distributed cannabis preparations through the late 1800s and into the early 1900s. Their catalogs listed dozens of cannabis-based products. Some were aimed at human patients. Others were aimed at veterinary use. The companies were respectable. The product was legal. Nobody in mill 1890 would have predicted that within 45 years, possessing the same substance would become a federal crime. That is the context of the official, legal, mainstream American relationship with cannabis through most of the 19th century. Now I want to take you to the other side of the river, to the place where a different relationship with the plant was developing, and where the story that became the basis for prohibition was actually being lived. The country south of the Rio Grande, the part of Mexico that the United States had not annexed in the War of Mill 1846, had its own long history with cannabis. The Spanish had introduced it. By the early 1800s, it was growing wild across northern Mexico in great quantities, especially along watercourses and in disturbed agricultural land. Mexican peasants, working long hours in the fields and the mines, had developed a tradition of smoking the dried flowers of the female plant in cigarillos, sometimes mixed with tobacco and sometimes alone. The practice was concentrated in working-class communities, particularly among indigenous and mestizo populations, and particularly among soldiers in the Mexican army.
What's up,
The smoking of cannabis in Mexico was viewed with concern by educated Mexican society long before any American official became aware of it. Mexican medical journals from the 1870s and 1880s contained articles warning that habitual smoking of the plant, which Mexicans called by various names including pasel, mota, and grifa, could cause violence, mental deterioration, and antisocial behavior in chronic users. Some of these concerns were exaggerated by the prejudices of upper-class Mexican observers against the indigenous and working-class users. Some of the concerns were grounded in real observations of heavy chronic use among soldiers and prisoners. The historian Isaac Campos, whose book Homegrown Marijuana and the Origins of Mexico's War on Drugs, published in 2012, did the careful work of separating the prejudice from the genuine observation, found that both elements were present.
About the Cowboys and
What is important to understand for our story tonight is that Mexico criminalized cannabis in Mile 1920, almost a full generation before the United States did.
We
The
always
Mexican
learning
federal
something
government
around
banned
here,
the
man.
cultivation, sale, and
Tri-Cities.
possession of the plant on the 2nd of March, Mill 1920. This was based on the same kinds of concerns that would later be raised in the United States, that came from Mexicans themselves, not from any American influence. The Mexican concern was real, and it was internal to Mexican society. But while educated Mexico was moving toward prohibition, hundreds of thousands of working-class Mexicans were moving north into the United States, particularly during the chaos of the Mexican Revolution between Mill 1910 and Mill 1920. And many of them brought with them the cigarillo, the cannabis smoking tradition that was already controversial back home. This is where the so-called cannabis cowboys appear in the story. The popular accounts have exaggerated this. The truth is more interesting than the legend. The cattle trails between Texas and Kansas operated from Mill 1866 through approximately Mill 1890. During those 24 years, approximately 1 out of every 3 cowboys was Mexican or Mexican-American. Another 1 in 4 was African-American. The remaining 4 in 10 were white Anglo cowboys, most of them from the southern states, particularly Texas, Tennessee, and Missouri. The mixing of these 3 cultures on the trail produced a specific Western culture that drew from all of them. Mexican vaqueros taught Anglo cowboys how to throw a lasso, how to ride a half-broken horse, how to brand and cut and drive a herd. The Spanish language of the borderlands
Camp
became the
McCain.
working language of the cattle industry, which is why English-speaking American cowboys today still use words like ranch, lasso, corral, rodeo, bronco, mustang, lariat, vamoose, and chaps, all of which are Spanish. Along with those words came practices, and one of those practices, in some camps on some trails in some years, was the occasional use of cannabis and cigarillos mixed with tobacco after the day's work was done. This was not a dominant cultural practice on the Anglo side. The dominant intoxicants in cowboy culture were whiskey, tobacco, and coffee. Cannabis was a minor presence, brought in by the Mexican vaqueros, occasionally tried by the Anglo cowboys, generally not adopted in any sustained way because tobacco was stronger, cheaper, and more available. The historian Mark Lee Gardner, in his work on the cattle drives, documents only scattered references to cannabis use in cowboy diaries and reminiscences. It was not a defining feature of the culture, but it was there, in some form, in some camps, for some men. And that small presence, that thin line of cultural contact between Mexican working-class smoking and the Anglo-American frontier, would become the seed from which a much larger story grew in the early 20th century. The Mexican Revolution changed everything. Between Mill 1910
Dude,
and
my
Mill
neck is
1920,
fucking killing me.
approximately 1 million Mexicans
God.
were killed in the fighting, and another 1
Damn.
million crossed the northern border into the
God
United
damn.
States as refugees. They settled in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. They worked in railroad construction.
You can't get rid of
agricultural labor,
Mexicans
mining, and
already.
meatpacking.
1 million
They
of them
brought their
died
language,
fighting.
their food, their
Jesus
music, and their
Christ.
working class smoking traditions with them. For the first time, significant numbers of Americans were encountering cannabis use as a cultural practice associated with a specific ethnic group. And the American response was almost immediately racial. The first state law against marijuana in the United States was passed in California in Mill 1913. The second was in Texas in Mill 1919. The third was in New Mexico in Mill 1923. The fourth was in Louisiana in Mill 1924. All four of these states had large and growing populations of Mexican immigrants. The newspaper coverage that supported the passage of these laws was almost entirely focused on Mexican users. The El Paso Herald wrote in Mill 1917 that marijuana caused Mexicans to commit acts of violence against whites. The Los Angeles Times wrote in Mill
Wait a
1923
second, wait a
that
second,
Mexican
wait a
laborers
second,
were
wait a
spreading
second, hold on. Only against whites, though, right? Only against whites.
habit of marijuana smoking to white youth. The San Francisco Examiner wrote
And then
in
the white youth,
1925
too. They're giving
that
it to
plant
the
was being used
kids.
by Mexican gangs in El Paso.
There we go again with the kids. They got to protect the children from the Mexican weed.
Seduce white women. These
Oh,
arguments
God.
were not based on scientific evidence. They were not based on careful sociological research. They were based, in almost every case, on secondhand accounts and lurid invention. But they were widely read, and they shaped the legal response. The federal government did not become involved until later. In Mile 1930, the
Hope we
Federal
could have
Bureau of
used a couple
Narcotics
more pictures.
was
This is a
established
cool
within
one,
the
but
Department of the Treasury, and its first commissioner was a man named Harry Jacob Anslinger. I want to spend some time on Harry Anslinger, because if any single person can be
The
said to have created the
DuPont
modern American legal
conspiracy.
regime against cannabis,
the
it is
marijuana
him.
conspiracy.
He was born in May of Mill 1892 in Altoona, Pennsylvania. His parents were Swiss-German immigrants. He grew up speaking German at home. He attended Pennsylvania State College, but did not graduate.
It's not fucking
He
very
worked for the
American
railroad.
of his
He served in
ass.
the diplomatic corps
Speaking
during the First
German
World
at
War,
home. Practically
including the
goddamn
posting at the
Nazi.
American consulate in Hamburg, Germany. After the war, he worked in alcohol prohibition enforcement, where he developed
Yeah.
a reputation as a
See?
hardline enforcer. When the Federal Bureau of Narcotics was created in Mill 1930, his connections in Washington got him the commissioner job. He held that job for 32 years. He retired in Mill 1962 at the age of 70. During his 3 decades in office, he was the single most powerful voice in American drug policy. And his approach to marijuana, from almost the first day of his tenure, was clear. He believed, and he said publicly, that marijuana caused violent crime. He believed it caused insanity. He believed it caused racial mixing, which he saw as a social danger. He believed it was associated specifically with Mexican immigrants and African-American jazz music.
It causes that
Both groups
racial
existed.
mixing and that
believed that the
music
only
of
solution was
jazz
federal
to
criminal
spread
prohibition.
everywhere.
The
And
evidence
they're going to
that
have
some
little
of these
coffee-colored
beliefs
babies
when Congress
everywhere
examined
all
during
over the
hearings
place
in
where you know what's
1937
going on.
was almost
And
entirely
it'll all
anecdotal.
because of that marijuana.
Anslinger
What the
maintained what he
fuck,
called the
man?
Gore files, a
That's
collection of newspaper
fucking
clippings
crazy.
of unverified reports of crimes allegedly committed by marijuana users. The Gore files contained dozens of stories. Each one was lurid. Each one followed the same pattern. A user, often described in the article as Mexican or Negro, becomes intoxicated on marijuana and commits an act of violence, usually against a white person, often involving sexual assault, often resulting in murder. The names were given. The dates were given, the locations were given, most of the stories were false. When researchers in the 1970s and 1980s began to check the Gore files
After
against
just
actual
one
records and
blunt,
contemporary
he
newspaper accounts,
raped and
they
murdered
found that
his
the large
white
majority of
neighbor.
the stories Anslinger
Fuck
had cited
it, that's
were either
just
complete inventions,
bullshit.
gross exaggerations of real but minor incidents, or cases in which marijuana use had been a peripheral detail at most. In several cases, the stories Anslinger told Congress had no basis in reality at all. They were fictions he had collected from sensationalist tabloids, treated as evidence, and used to justify federal prohibition. The hearings before Congress took place in the spring of 1937. The hearings were brief. The hearings were not adversarial. The American Medical Association sent a representative, Dr. William Woodward, to testify against the proposed legislation.
Hell yeah.
Dr. Woodward pointed out that the
Let
medical
me get
evidence
one of them
Anslinger was presenting
cigarellos.
was not supported by scientific research. He pointed out that cannabis had been used medically for almost 100 years without significant evidence of widespread social harm. He pointed out that the law as proposed would interfere with legitimate medical practice. He was ignored. The hearings closed. The Marijuana Tax Act of
Of course,
1937
because there
passed
was
by Congress on the
money
2nd of
to
August
be
and
made.
signed by President Franklin Roosevelt. It took effect on the 1st of October
Who
of that
cares
year. The law
about
was
the
structured as a
legitimate
tax.
medical
Technically,
use?
It did not prohibit
Shit.
cannabis. It simply required that anyone who wished to deal in cannabis, including doctors and pharmacies, pay a substantial annual transfer tax. The tax was so heavy and the paperwork requirements so burdensome that it effectively ended the legal trade in cannabis in the United States. Within 5 years, every American pharmaceutical company had stopped manufacturing cannabis preparations. By the early 1940s, the medical use of cannabis, which had been routine and unremarkable for 90 years, was effectively over. The law also created an enforcement apparatus. The Federal Bureau of Narcotics, under Anslinger, now had a clear federal authority to pursue marijuana cases, and pursue them they did. Between Mill 1937 and Mill 1945, the Bureau prosecuted thousands of cases.
Why does he
The
keep
first man
saying
arrested
Mill?
under the
He's
new
got to
law
be
on
reading
the
this
day
from
after
a
it took
book.
effect was a 58-year-old African-American man named Samuel Caldwell in Denver, Colorado. He was sentenced to 4 years of hard labor. The second man arrested under the new law the same day was a Mexican-American man named Moses Baca, also in Denver. He received 18 months. Neither man was offered legal representation that anyone in the modern legal system would consider adequate.
Now all
Both were
these
processed
motherfuckers
quickly,
out there
sentenced quickly,
becoming
and
millionaires
sent to federal
on-
prison.
on
This
weed.
pattern of disproportionate arrest and prosecution of Mexican Americans
Same
and African
motherfuckers
Americans
that had the
would
laws
continue
made
under
back
the Marijuana
then.
Tax Act for the next
Now that
33
they figured
years,
out how to
until the
exploit
Supreme
this
Court
shit.
ruled in Mill 1969 in the case of Leary versus the United States that the Tax Act was unconstitutional because it required defendants to incriminate themselves.
It ain't the same
By that
people,
time,
but it's the
however,
same fucking
the political
team.
momentum for the criminalization of cannabis was well established, and Congress responded in Mill 1970 by passing the Controlled Substances Act, which classified marijuana as a Schedule I substance, the most restrictive category, defined as having no accepted medical use and high potential for abuse. The Schedule I classification remains in place under federal law to this day. Now, I have given you the official history, the dates and the laws and the names and the bureaucratic structures. I want to come back, in the last part of this story, to the question that the old cowboy Reuben Salazar asked the young reporter from the Brownsville Daily Herald in the spring of Mill 1926, when he was 82 years old and dying. The new thing, he said, is not the plant. The new thing is the lying. What did he mean by that? He meant, I think, that the plant itself had always been there in the fields and along the riverbanks and in the cigarillos of working men, doing what plants do, being used by some people and ignored by others, causing some problems and solving others in roughly the same way that tobacco and whiskey and coffee had always been used. Reuben Salazar had lived through 3 generations of American history during which the plant was widely available, was legally sold, was occasionally smoked by cowboys and
Wait a
laborers and
second,
immigrants
though.
and medical patients, and was simply
I'm
part of the world. He had not seen.
In that day and age, nobody viewed even whiskey or fucking like pre-whiskey prohibition. Man, people like when my grandpa was growing up, they thought cigarettes were healthy. They're like, get some, you better smoke cigarettes. They'll make you strong. They were, because it's wild. So it wasn't viewed that shit was bad until more recently, If you look at older shit from the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, they didn't fucking view cigarettes as being bad at all. They smoked every fucker. They smoked on fucking airplanes back in the day.
It destroy
Good morning,
anyone he
good
knew.
morning.
He had not seen it cause crime waves. He had seen it as one of many small parts of the working class life of the borderlands. The new thing, he said, was the lying. By the spring of May 1926, when the young reporter visited him, the lying had already begun. The Texas state newspapers were running articles about Mexican marauders driven mad by reefer. The federal government was beginning to take an interest. Harry Anslinger was still 6 years away from becoming commissioner, but the cultural ground was being prepared for him. The stories that Anslinger would later present to Congress as evidence were being written. In their first drafts, in the newspapers, Ruben Salazar would
Goddamn
never read
Nazis
because he could not see
Anslinger.
well enough by Mill 1926 to read.
Grew up speaking
What he had
German at
seen
home.
in his
Is it
82
any
years in the
fucking
borderlands
wonder?
was the truth.
Is it
What was
any
being
fucking
constructed
wonder?
around him and beyond his sight was the lie that would replace the truth in American public memory for the next 100 years. The lie had specific features. It said that cannabis was a new arrival in American life, brought in by suspect immigrants, threatening to corrupt American youth.
The actual
The truth
fuck.
was that cannabis had been in American life.
God damn. I'm gonna run that back just a second here.
26 to read. What he had seen in his 82 years on the borderlands was the truth.
I
What
might
was
have
being
went too
constructed
far.
around him and beyond his sight was the lie that would replace the truth in American public memory for the next 100 years. The lie had specific features. It said
Specific.
that cannabis was a new arrival in American life, brought in by suspect immigrants, threatening to corrupt American youth. The truth was that cannabis had been in American life since the colonial period, grown by the founding fathers, sold legally in pharmacies for a century. The lie said that cannabis caused violent crime in users. The truth was that there was no controlled scientific evidence supporting that claim, and the American Medical Association had testified against it under oath. The lie said that cannabis was associated with racial minorities and threatened white civilization. The truth was that the most consistent American users of cannabis during the 19th century had been white middle-class women using doctor-prescribed tinctures. For
Motherfucking soccer
Why did the lie
moms.
prevailed over the truth? That is the part of this story that takes the longest to answer honestly.
Motherfucking soccer
The
moms was using
The
it then.
criminalization of cannabis in the 1930s happened during a
I bet
period
they
of
was
intense
mad.
American nativism. The country had just closed its borders to most immigration in Mill 1924. The Ku Klux Klan had reached its peak membership of 4 million in the mid-1920s. The country was looking, in many ways, for a story that explained crime and social disorder by pointing at foreign ethnic groups, particularly Mexicans, who were the largest immigrant population coming into the Southwest. Marijuana, associated with Mexican workers, fit the narrative the country wanted to hear. Harry Anslinger, in his decades of testimony, used racial language explicitly. He spoke about cannabis causing white women to seek the company of Negroes and Filipinos. He spoke about jazz musicians and Hispanics as the carriers of the menace. The racial framing was not subtle. It was the entire frame. Part of the
my
answer
God.
is economic. The hemp industry, which had been important in American agriculture for 250 years, was beginning to compete with newer fiber technologies.
It's gonna make
especially nylon,
your
which became
daughters
popular
run
in the
off
mill
with
in 1935.
Filipinos and
Pharmaceutical companies
and
that had manufactured cannabis
African
tinctures were
Americans
beginning to
and
move towards synthetic
natives.
alternatives like
You never know
aspirin
where
or
the kids are
barbiturates.
gonna end up.
Criminalization of cannabis benefited
gotta
several
think about
large
the
American
children.
business interests that had reasons to want hemp and cannabis suppressed. Whether those interests directly influenced Anslinger in Congress is debated by historians. What is not debated is that the timing of the criminalization aligned conveniently with their commercial interests. Part of the answer is political. Anslinger was a bureaucrat who had been hired to run a small federal bureau. Bureaus that have nothing to do tend to be dismantled. Bureaus that have an enemy tend to receive larger budgets and more authority. By manufacturing a marijuana menace, Anslinger guaranteed himself a 32-year career and steadily increasing federal funding. He understood
A
perfectly
marijuana
well
menace.
the dynamic he was operating within. He gave his political masters what they wanted, and he gave the newspapers what sold. And he built an entire federal apparatus on a foundation of stories that, when examined later, turned out not to be true.
Huh.
This is the dark history that the original telling of the cannabis cowboy story.
But they were already
usually
making a
misses.
bunch of money,
The
so
dark part is not that cowboys smoked it. They did, in small numbers occasionally, in the Mexican borderland tradition that was older than the United States itself. The dark part is what was done with that small ethnographic fact decades later, by a federal commissioner who had
Of
political
course.
ambitions and a worldview shaped by the racial anxieties of his time. The story has a long tail. The Controlled Substances Act of Mill 1970, which built directly on Anslinger's Marijuana Tax Act.
we'll talk about that in a
remains the
second though.
basis
But in
of federal
comparison,
policy.
cannabis smoke
still
is
classified
way
as a Schedule I
better
drug,
for
the
you
same
than
legal
tobacco
category as
because it's a
heroin,
different type of
despite the
smoke.
fact that 24 states had, by the end of 2024, legalized cannabis for adult recreational use. and another 14 states had legalized it for medical use. The federal law and the state laws are now in direct conflict in most of the country. The original story that justified the federal law, the Gore files and the testimony and the lurid newspaper articles of the 1920s and 1930s, has been thoroughly discredited by historians. But the law remains. Reuben Salazar did not live to see any of this. He died in late Mill 1926, 3 weeks after he spoke to the young reporter, in the small wooden cabin outside Brownsville. He was buried in the local Catholic cemetery. His grave is still there with a simple stone marker that gives his name and his dates. He had been right in his deathbed conversation about everything that was coming, but he did not live to see it arrive. He died believing, perhaps, that what he had said would be remembered. The young reporter's notes were filed away. The story was never published. It sat in the morgue of the Brownsville Daily Herald for 75 years, until a graduate student doing dissertation research on the social history of the borderlands found it in 2001. The historian who eventually quoted Salazar's words in a published book was Isaac Campos in his work, Homegrown Marijuana and the Origins of Mexico's War on Drugs, published by the University of North Carolina Press in 2012.
Gonna need that book.
86 years after the conversation, the federal government of the United States was still actively prosecuting Americans under laws that had been constructed on the foundations Salazar had warned against.
Where's this guy? He acts like they're
That had
not.
been the dangerous thing. The dangerous thing
Like that we're not
had always
still
been the
doing that.
lying. The lying had built a federal bureau. The lying had filled federal prisons. The lying had ruined careers, separated families, and disproportionately destroyed the lives of Mexican-American and African-American communities for almost a century. The lying had also, along the way, ended 100 years of legitimate medical practice that had been helping patients with epilepsy, with cancer pain, with multiple sclerosis, and with the dozens of other conditions that cannabis had been legally prescribed for between Mill 1850 and Mill 1937. When the old man in the cabin outside Brownsville spoke to the young reporter in the spring of Mill 1926, he was telling the truth that nobody in the country was prepared to hear. The plant was old. The lying was new. The lying would last almost 100 years and is, in many ways, still going on. They were not heroes. They were not villains. They were people. Reuben Salazar was an old vaquero who had lived a hard and honest life and was trying, in his last weeks, to set the record straight about something his country was about to misunderstand on a vast scale. The young reporter was doing his job. The editors who filed the notes in the morgue and never published them were responding to the commercial realities of their newspaper and the prejudices of their readers. Harry Anslinger was a federal bureaucrat who built a career on stories he should have known were not true. Samuel Caldwell, the 58-year-old African-American man who became the first person arrested under the Marijuana Tax Act in October of Mill 1937, was a man whose name almost nobody in America has ever heard, who served 4 years of hard labor in federal prison for selling 3 marijuana cigarettes, and who died in poverty in Denver in Mill 1943 at the age of 64. The cattle trails are gone. The pharmacies that sold cannabis tinctures are gone. The Federal Bureau of Narcotics has been folded into the Drug Enforcement Administration. Harry Anslinger died in Mill 1975 at the age of 83, having lived long enough to see the Cultural Revolution of the 1960s begin to chip away at the law he had built, but not long enough to see the state-level legalization wave of the 2000s and 2010s. He is buried in a small cemetery in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, near the town where he was born. His grave is unremarkable. There is no historical marker explaining what he did or what consequences his work had. The plant continues to grow on the riverbanks of the Rio Grande, the way it has grown there for almost 500 years since the Spanish first.
Well, god dang, I need to see that growing on the riverbanks.
Sidewalks. It grows on roadsides in West Texas. It grows in the same places.
I ain't seen no weed growing in the crack in the
Mill
city
1870.
sidewalk.
The plant does not know anything about Harry Anslinger or the Marijuana Tax Act or the Controlled Substances Act or any of the laws that have been passed about it. The plant just grows. The lying around the plant comes and goes with the political seasons, but the plant remains. That is the dark history of cannabis in the old Wild West. Not a story about cowboys getting high around the campfire, although there was some of that. Not a story about Pancho Villa leading drug-fueled cavalry charges, which is not true and never was. The real dark history is the one Reuben Salazar saw coming from his cot in the spring of Mill 1926, when he was 82 years old and dying, and his country was about to spend the next 100 years building a vast apparatus of law and prison and prosecution on a foundation of stories that were not true, told by men who knew they were not true, for reasons that had more to do with race and politics and bureaucratic ambition than with any honest assessment of what the plant did or did not do.
And
The
money.
plant is still growing. The lying is, in many places, beginning to end. The truth, which old Reuben Salazar tried to tell the young reporter from the Brownsville Daily Herald in the last weeks of his life, is finally beginning to be heard. 100 years late. But finally, the cabin where he died has long since collapsed. The cemetery where he is buried is overgrown. The Brownsville Daily Herald no longer exists. The morgue, where the young reporter's notes were filed, has been transferred in fragments to various university archives across the Southwest.
Bro, bottom
The
line
story
is
sat
here.
for 75 years before anyone read it again. The historian who finally quoted it gave the old man for a few pages of a serious academic book, the voice he had been denied in his own time. That is the way these stories work sometimes. The old men who saw the truth coming die in their cabins. The lies are built into law. And then, 100 years later, somebody finds the notes in the morgue, and the truth comes back, slowly, and the country has to begin the long work of figuring out what really happened on its own ground, with its own people. In its own past, when nobody who could speak the truth was being listened to. They were not heroes. They were not villains. They were people. The plant was a plant. The cowboys were men doing hard work in hard country. The Mexicans who came north during the Revolution were refugees. The federal commissioner who built a career on stories that were not true was a bureaucrat doing what bureaucrats do. The country went where it went. The plant kept growing, and in a small Catholic cemetery outside Brownsville, in soil that the Spanish first turned over 400 years ago, an old vaquero named Ruben Antonio Salazar still lies in his grave, still patient, still right, still waiting for the country to catch up to what he was trying to say in 1926.
Oh,
with the dust of 3
it's
generations of cattle
because
drivers
I'm
still on his hands, and the truth
playing
still
the
on his tongue.
sound through my
The new
speakers,
thing
maybe.
was never the plant. The new thing was the lying. He told the young reporter. The young reporter wrote it down. The newspaper filed the notes. The notes waited. That is the whole story. That is the dark
It's
history.
probably just
That
echoing
is
through
what was
my
actually
mic.
happening in the old Wild West, with the cannabis cowboys, with the trail drives, with the Mexican vaqueros, with the medicine bottles on the pharmacy shelves, with the federal hearings, with the laws that followed. The plant was never the dark part. The lying was. The lying is. And until the country finishes the long, slow, hard work of telling the truth about its own past,
My
the lying will
microphone.
continue in different forms around different issues with different victims. For as
I'm
long as
listening
Americans
to
were
it
willing
on
listen
my
to comforting
fucking
falsehoods
desktop,
instead of inconvenient
right
facts,
on my speakers, because I
humans
don't
are
want to
told the
wear
truth
those
instead.
fucking
The
headphones.
country took 100 years to hear it. There are other old men today telling other truths on other deathbeds about other things their country is getting wrong. Whether anyone is listening this time is a question we will know the answer to in another 100 years, when somebody finds the notes in the morgue and the story finally gets told straight.
New Jersey probably isn't the first place that comes to mind.
Yes, I was muted one more again. Fuck, dude. I'm so goddamn sore, y'all. Holy shit. Oh. It's the motherfucking baby sea turtle shower, the sea turtle baby shower. I gotta go up there and learn how to see the baby sea turtles and shit. Yes, it was muted. Now we're off the mute. Ba-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-bum. Yeah. Boom, boom. Man, I'm feeling my neck is so fucking screwed. I need to go fucking lay in a get in a what you call it? In a hot tub or some shit. Here, let me turn this music down. It's so loud. I already know. Yo, y'all, we're inching closer to that motherfucking 10K. We're only 67 subscribers away over here. Mm-hmm. Damn, we got a bunch of we're 1,116. We got a bunch of new people on Twitter there. Fucking A. Oh my God, man. I feel bad posting that damn picture of that damn jar I got, but it is what it is. I had to, because they kind of clowning on that post. And this guy like fucking over 13,000 views. I feel bad because I like dude. That's shitty, man. I hate to be, dude's not gonna like me, of course, because I posted that. But I mean, it wasn't a shot at him. I was sitting there yesterday when I opened that jar and I took that picture. I took those pictures. I was upset. I paid $130 for the quarter, but I really like OGCM as a person because I follow him on Twitter and read a lot of what he says. And I think he's a good dude. I like where his head's at and his perspective and stuff. And so I thought for a minute to just like DM him the picture and be like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but I've never had any interaction with him like personally. So I was like, man, I had to sit here and think it over. And at the end, I was like, man, I got to just post it and, it is what it is. I'm extremely disappointed with, what I received. Dude, they're fucking, because I like dude, man. And, if you think somebody's good, you don't want to be, I hate that that's what showed up because I want to be saying good things about the guy because I like him as a person, and he's got a good reputation. So I hate to be somebody who's posting something negative about him. But I can't show you something I didn't get, and I can't just tuck it to the side and be like, hey, man, that's not right either, right? But, you can never do the right thing and fucking everybody's happy and fucking it's right. But if I just didn't show it to y'all and then I went and messaged him, it's like, hey, man, that would be totally fucked. Because it's like, y'all don't see that shit happens. That's not real. Just try to fucking be like, it's always good. Everything's always good. I don't want to bring no bad to nobody, man. I want to be putting positivity in the world first and foremost. And to be bringing negativity to somebody like OGCM, I feel like shit because he's, like I said, he's a good dude, man. He's always posting positive stuff. He's a positive guy, and he's a small time, grower who's really made it up in the ranks and is respected. So I really hate to be putting something out there that's getting a bunch of eyeballs on it that's not good, It's just one of those dilemmas, man. You know what I mean? But at the end, I did what was right. What I had to do, I just posted a picture for everybody to see and tagged him, tagged Simply Mary, and was like, I'm extremely disappointed in what arrived, and I'll be doing a rolling review live. And I did. And that was that. You know?
Please, Mr. Minister, a word with you. Only take a minute, sir. So don't you screw. You no fight against the rumming. You no fight against the whining. You no fight against the cigarette smoking. Yet you know these things.
See, like, I know that it goes to a few hands going to like Simply Mary. Like, he's got a quality control guy that I think it goes to that cures it and all this and that before he releases it. And but there's like that fucking that seed. That seed was like crazy. The buds were super round. People are accusing it of being PGR. I don't think it was PGR at all. But there just wasn't a lot of, there was not a lot. It didn't match the description. It wasn't a loud gas and fruity, creamy fruit flavors going on that I could find. I still got some. I'm saving it so that I can get it when somebody comes by that knows what's up, that like knows their shit. Yeah, and I'm not going to get behind any of that or anything. And that's what makes me feel bad is that motherfucker's clowning, dude, because I know it wasn't. I don't think it's him. I think it's something in the supply chain. But there's a damn seed, so that's like, I mean, that's kind of like, I don't know. That's where there's a lot of questions there. You know what I mean? Either way, man, it's the right thing to do is just show what showed up. They weren't hard. They weren't hard, but they didn't have a lot to smell. They didn't really have a nose to them. I mean, I still got some right here, right? Not a whole lot of nose. It's not hard. I mean, it smashes. Like, you see how flat I just smashed it? So it's not. And it's, I'm not picking up the aroma notes, even like. That's the fucking Parrot Z. I'm sorry. That's the wrong ass jar. Here's the jar. Fuck, I'm stupid. Here. I just broke that one in half, but it smashes flat. You know, it's not overly hard. Yeah, and this isn't really got like no good smell. Is not it. I'm just saying, if you get something from Simply Mary, flower wise, man, the motherfucking up the hill is that shit, dog. We finna hit a dab of some Florida moonshine. But like the flower I'm smoking on this morning, I got a little bit of Blue Magic from Wizard Trees that I picked up from Canicured. And I also have got a little jar of Zelato I've been hitting up. Yeah, Florida Moonshine is OGZ Jam. It's 1.5 grams of OGZ's Jam sitting in a little so it's 2.5 grams of orange mints batter, and then they put the OGZ Jam right in the middle. It's thumbprint. I'll show you in just a second. I'll show you a picture. I got a really good picture. Yeah, they've been doing that, like blending some thumbprints. I really enjoy those where they put like one kind of batter and another kind of jam. Oh, I got a bowl over here or something. I don't know what it is. Probably Gelato. Yeah, it was 130 for the 4 gram bucket. You get them on the weekends on sale. Let me show you. Look at this. This shit looks so fire. Would you look at that? How about that? That's a good picture of some Florida moonshine, right? With the palms in the background and shit. The sun hitting right on that shit, dog. That shit looks so fire. But yeah, that's the OGZ in the middle and the orange mints on the outside. Florida moonshine. Yeah, dude. Sunburn does it right when it comes to that stuff. Concentrates, man. They got some Temple Ball that's incredible too. They're bubble hash too. You gotta hit them on a weekend. You gotta be a med patient here or a resident. There's no like visitor cards and shit in Florida, or have a friend. That sucks. Was it from Simply Mary? Oh God. I found that with Simply Mary. Some of the rosin's a little bit dry. Hasn't been a huge issue, but it's not just. I'm saying that, but it's been well over a year since I've had any rosin from them. That sounds so fucking good, dude. Mad Fruit and Sour Diesel. Shit. Yeah. I've seen that. He had the baller jars come out, right? Yeah, I'm fucking stoked for the damn new house in the garden, man. We'll be like, I'll do a fucking garden channel. That way I can do some fucking live streaming from my phone in the backyard there. Like, check it. I can, I can put on my damn neck thing and get back there and motherfucking get the video, get the live stream going back there in the garden. Dude, my backyard's so huge. I'm going to get a fucking greenhouse back there. For all my peppers and stuff. Man, I think I could really crank out some fucking peppers with a greenhouse. Maybe get a tent to start them in and shit. Start them inside and then stick them out, you know, once I get get them going. I can stick them outside in that greenhouse. Keep them hoes going year round. Right, Damon? Holy shit. I got a nice little stash right now. Some smoke. Should have. Man, I'm wondering what I got coming today for delivery. I've got Tuesday. I'll have canna cured and handcrafted going up. That's weird. Woo! Damn it, boy. What's happening, JW? Man, I'm fucking feeling nice. Oh, excuse me. Man, I haven't in a couple weeks. I think Bubble Bath was the last thing I got. From recent reports, that Purple Haze is pretty good. I'm so stocked up. And I missed the fucking ones. I really wanted Formula One and Sharpies. And I'm really trying to wait on the damn Lit OG. Woo, Mile High Slurpee. The fuck? Kim Dog's $99. I might have to order some. Kim Dog is good. Here, we'll look at it together. Real quick. Dude, I have not seen this one. Mile High Slurpee. Exhilarating sativa dominant hybrid engineered for those who crave an icy blast, cerebral energy, elevated focus, emerging with the cross of flying high Colorado heritage strains of elite sweet phenotype genetics. Where's the goddamn fly? Okay, here we go. Mile High offers a vibrant, tongue-tingling sensory profile that completely avoids the... okay. It avoids the skunky and earthy. Blue raspberry, cherry, candy, sharp, zesty twist, citrus peel. Sugary, slushy flavor. That's, man... I like those Rich Boy Runts when I had them, but man, I would get these two right here. And I might get these two right here since they both 99 today. See, do they have any jars? That's really what I'm waiting on. Somebody said they got a jar. It was a new jar I don't have. And so I assume they might be releasing jars soon, and I've not seen that yet. So that's one thing I'm waiting on. I wish they would keep jars on there more, because I would be more apt to grab a jar and a red bag. You know what I mean? Like get this right here in a jar. Here, but that's let me get back over here with the rest of you guys. Oh, happy birthday, man. It's your birthday, dog. Neil, good day, good tea time, good whatever you got going on over there in England. Somebody just followed me. Their name is $0 Bankroll. That's hilarious. $0 Bankroll. $25-4. So it's 3:30. Is that in the AM or what? Where are we at? There we go. Afternoon, basically. Gotcha. It's almost tea time. I knew it. It's always almost tea time. It's either morning tea time or evening tea time. It's afternoon tea time. So, at which tea time do you have crumpets? Is it with evening tea or breakfast tea? And do you have biscotti like at your house? Or is that only on airplanes? Wouldn't it be 1535 if it were 3? I don't know. I'm not a mathematician or a fucking military timetable teller. About noon for the crumpets. I've never had a crumpet. I've just heard people say tea and crumpets. Bro, do you eat mashed peas? That's really scary. Why do they mash the peas like that? That's the one. That's the one. 1535 hours. Why they mash the peas? You know, I seen them with the fish and chips, man. It looked like they put a little pile of baby shit on the side. What's that about? Explain for the rest of the world, please, sir. Mashing peas. The mushy peas. Do you fuck with mushy peas, Neil? To blend up the peas. Just a little blender of peas. Ooh, man, gross. Oh, yeah, dude, that's just gross, dog. Shit. Fucking. What do they dip their french fries in that shit or what? There's a little pile of baby shit. I fancy a pile of baby shit with my fish and chips. Oh, shit, dog. Let me see if I got some coffee, man. And I'll come back and join y'all for a little bit longer, man. Oh, shit. Have you seen the mashed peas, dog? Fish and chips and mashed peas. Fish and chips and baby shit. Bro, oh my God, bro. Y'all ain't ready for this. I'm telling you, man, this is how they do it over there. You think I'm even fucking playing a little bit about this baby shit stuff? Fish and chips and baby shit. And you just scroll this shit and look at different textures of baby shit, beautifully fried pieces of fish served with cups of fresh baby shit. I mean, it just keeps going. Oh my God, the fucking blood. That's a goddamn psychopath. I'm sorry. Lord Jesus, that's a psychopath right there. I got no more. No more. No more. What the hell? Bro, that's motherfucking sweet peas. Let me get off of this horse shit. God. Baby shit. I'm trying to eat my Nature Valley, and I've just been faced with that. Dude, does that not look like baby shit though, JW? Holy shit, man. And then he put it all over the top of everything. I'm sorry, Neil, but in a battle of baby shit and hummus, hummus wins, dog. Unless you're throwing it like a weapon, then baby shit wins. Bro, they got a whole, this motherfucking bougie ass Publix over here got a whole wall of hummus. Here's the shit. I like those little green sweet peas. You know, I buy them in a bag frozen, and I don't fucking mash them and cook them till they look like baby shit. You know, maybe throw them in some rice or pasta, or just eat them on the side with a little butter or something. I don't know. Baba Ganoush. Let's get a picture. That's pretty much just fucking eggplant version of hummus, right? Baba ganoush. See, I fuck with that. This shit ain't looking green and fucking like it came straight out of a baby's bum. You know what I mean? Here, let's look. That ain't bad, dog. That look good. That looks pretty good to me. I'll fuck with that. Got a little pita bread. It just looked like another type of hummus. I could see some people not eating this type shit, but it does not look like a baby just straight up dookied all over your plate. This is the closest thing to that. This looks gross. I don't know who took that picture, but this shit look like, ugh, that don't look good. That does not look good. The fuck is that? That's a lot better. That other picture, I don't know what they was thinking. This it's baba ganoush. It's apparently it's like hummus, but it's made with eggplant. That's what I'm reading. I don't know. I'm not a fucking baba ganoush expert. I was curious about it too. I've heard the name and I've had it before, I'm sure. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I would fuck with the baba ganoush hummus, but man, bro, y'all gotta get something better. Y'all gotta get the smushy peas off the menu, bro, and fix the English breakfast. I don't know, god dang. Man, how do they end up with that breakfast, dog? Let's get on. Let's back that thing up.
Rise early in the morning before the sun comes rising. Yeah, sail to the bank, go to the keys, throw out the net, we fish for you and for me.
I'm curious how y'all come to. That wasn't looking like baby shit. Here goes. Here, look. I'm looking at some English breakfast plates. Some of it actually looks good. This looks like a decent. They got mushrooms there. This is like your English breakfast. What's this one here? Is that? I don't even know what that is. Maybe that's ham. Some sort of ham. This is more like it, huh? Mushrooms. Are mushrooms part of the English breakfast plate? Yes, they are. Mushrooms, tomato, beans. They got avocado on that one. That's not traditional. And the fried tater is not, is it? That's it right there, right? That's the English breakfast. See, that don't look too bad now. But I just can't imagine eating the onions, tomato, mushroom, and beans with all that. I would like all those things, but not on that plate. You know what I mean? The beans to me are like, yeah, it looks good though, right? But the beans what got me thrown off, right? I'm like, man, how am I eating these beans with this? With an egg yolk. Yeah. I don't know. It does look good though, man. It does, don't it? It look good. Let's find another one that looks good. Here, this is kind of, why is it's just sitting on a bed of beans? Oh, that looks fire right there. Now, yeah, I could absolutely fuck with that right there. That's potatoes in there. They could throw the mushrooms in there, maybe. There's just cherry tomatoes, though. I like the burnt looking tomato, though, a little bit, maybe. God dang, they burnt the whole plate like a sumbitch here. They burnt the fuck out of that tomato. That's a, I got so many questions for that plate. That's a healthy British breakfast there, right? All right, last one, last looky-loo there. I don't know. Man, I'm intrigued by the breakfast here, man. Last one for sure. What is this sausage right here, Neil? Pudding. This is a blood sausage, right? Isn't that what that is? That fucking blood sausage? Orange juice, coffee, water. Answer, man. You got the whole menu, dog. Yeah, there's like a blood sausage, right? It's like let's look. Get a better look. That right there is a blood sausage. You see the pieces of rice. So they put rice in a motherfucking sausage casing, and that's not gonna do what we want to. It's not even gonna get no bigger. But they put some rice in it. You ain't never seen or heard of blood sausage, man? They put the rice. You can see the piece of rice in the sausage casing with some other stuff, and then they like boudin and shit, and then they pump it full of blood. Yeah, I don't fuck with the blood sausage, man. Fuck that. I think that's what this is. I'll eat these though. The black pudding. It's good for your insides. Now, what sort of animal's blood is that we're eating there? It's soaked rice that's good for your insides. It's good for your insides. How to eat that stuff, Neil? Does it make you shit? Is that how? Oh, I know what it is. That's how the peas are made. That's how the mushy peas are made. You eat the black sausage and then you make the fucking mushy peas. Oh shit. Oh shit! I fucking closed my damn window. I was watching. I'm just closing all my windows. Out of control. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's full of nutrients. You know what else is full of nutrients? Oh yeah, I'm sure it's oh, I got my echo going. You know what else is full of nutrients? Freaking spinach. I guess you can get a coli from that too. Shit. Broccoli, vegetables, full of nutrients. I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of the blood. So I like sausage, just not the blood sausage. But I'm not really big on fucking. I like leaner meats, man. I like fish, and I like lean cuts of steak and chicken and pork and shit. But I don't like a whole lot of fucking fat. Shit makes my stomach hurt. You know, all that fat. Wood pigeon breast. What the fuck's a wood pigeon, dog? Are y'all fucking eating pigeons over there too? Bro, we gotta get you over here, man. We got so much land, we're eating cows. Fucking wood pigeon. Wood pigeon breast. All right, bone rib, y'all. Then I got to dip. I got to dip, man, for this moment. Let's get another little piece. I'm pretty sure this is gelato in this bowl. Okay. We don't eat pigeons around here. We call them sky rats. The pigeon's not really game food here. They're like they're just flying rats, really. Or people use homing pigeons for pets, but mostly the cities are just full of pigeons that scavenge for food and stuff. Chicken liver pate. That's something else I don't fuck with, but you can get that in the gas stations in the South, bro. Not pate, but fried chicken livers. Have you had a fried chicken liver before? I don't eat a lot of organ meat. I'm good. Thing here, you can't sell wild game. We have to import the wild raised fucking like elk and shit like that. There's no market trade of wild game here. All my wild game is farm raised. Do you hunt over there? My fucking brother-in-law hunts, Dave. Show you a fucking wild boar his ass shot one year. I should be able to pull this picture. Oh gosh, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can find that goddamn picture. It's huge, man. This fucking hog this man shot was giant fucking good. I never seen a hog so big in my goddamn life. It was a wild one. Yeah, I gotta get my ass up off of here, man. It has been a wonderful hanging out smoking this morning. I don't know what I got coming in the mail today. Maybe I got something exciting. We'll get on here and take a look at it tonight. But right now I'm fixing to get up here to the boardwalk and take a look at the sea turtle baby shower and see if I can figure out how I can spot some sea turtles at night. And maybe I can get up there with my Osmo or one of my cameras at nighttime and get some video of the little sea turtles. I'll see y'all this evening, man. Y'all take it easy. Y'all have a good day. Have a great Saturday, man. It's a beautiful day here on the island. It's a little windy. It's 80 degrees. But I will catch y'all this evening, man. Hopefully I got something new and exciting to share. I'll see y'all then. Peace.